Show.
Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are you doing on this wonderful, fine Tuesday evening? I am so excited because it is time for another episode of the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey, Vertner, and my special guest, who I am about to introduce in just 1 second. So if you have no clue who I am, that's okay. Let me tell you. My name is Lindsey Vertner. I am a peak potential strategist and transformational speaker. I teach millennial moms and startup entrepreneurs how to master their mindset and balance their lives through self-care, self-worth, and self-discipline. And I'm super excited about my guest tonight because she was a speaker for our conference, the Unleashed Woman Women's Empowerment Conference, and she just blew it out the park. She was phenomenal. Her name is Carla Romo. She's a dating and relationship coach. She has been featured with the Milwaukee Bucks, Bravo, Cosmopolitan, Bumble, Lifetime, and more, honey. She is the bee's knees. She's a nationwide speaker, certified dating and relationship coach, and author of Contagious Love. She's the Love-Life Cheerleader, and she facilitates workshops for people all over the place. So I'm going to shut my mouth and introduce my amazing guest, the lovely Carla Romo. Hey, Carla.
Wow, that was an amazing intro. Thank you so much. I feel so special.
I do what I can. I do what I can. I am so glad that you could come and hang out with me on the happy hour tonight. So I know that I just gave you that intro, but what would you say, like, who is Carla? Like, give us the nitty gritty behind the resume bio. Like, who are you really?
I like this behind the resume bio because you sums up my professional life really, really well. So I'm going to throw in just some fun facts. I drink soda water. This is the drink of choice tonight. I actually do not drink caffeine because if I drink caffeine, I'll be completely honest with you, it will be a lot and it makes me jittery and I have a really weird just reaction to caffeine. So I don't drink caffeine. I live in Rochester, New York. I was living in LA for about 7 years prior to changing my life and going through my self-love, self-growth journey. I was a TV producer. I made documentaries. I did casting producing. And then I switched careers and started my business. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years, coaching hundreds of men, hundreds of women all around relationships, dating. My whole thing is the most important relationship you're ever going to have is with yourself. So you got to work there in order to get that relationship that's up to the standards that you want it to be at. So that is a little bit about me behind the resume.
Yes, I love that because that's why relationships fail a lot of time because you're trying to find the happiness and the thing that you're craving in other people, and really you have to create it within first and spread it out. And when you are great with yourself, the relationship you find yourself in is only going to be that much better.
Exactly. And I could not agree more with that. A lot of times the biggest problem that I see with my clients when they're trying to get in relationships or they're trying to save their relationship or whatever it is in their love life, right, is they're not valuing the relationship that they have with themselves. Just starts there. Sounds super basic when you say that, but when you start to pull back the layers of the onion and be like, do you actually practice that? Do you practice self-love? Do you practice self-care? A lot of times people are like, oh, I guess I don't. I guess I don't have this life of abundance and caring for myself. And a lot of times people are also confused. Why do I really need to focus on myself if I'm just trying to find love, right? It's like those questions that people ask themselves. But you've got to find a love within. You got to love yourself in order to truly, fully be loved and love others.
Yes, yes. Listen, this is not just a conversation between me and the lovely Miss Carla, okay? This is between us two and you. So make sure that you comment, love, and share this out because I know we're going to give some good relationship gems on tonight, okay? So even if you don't think you need it, which regardless, we're going to have fun. It's going to be great. Make sure you share this video out so that your friends and family can see it, especially that one friend that you got that's in a new relationship every other month. Share with her or him, okay?
Exactly. Yes.
And make sure you post your questions below because later on, Miss Carla is going to answer your questions live. So comment, comment, comment. Let us know you're here, where you're watching from. Grab your drink and join the chat, okay? So, Miss Carla, I did not know that you were in like the whole TV type of world. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did you get into it? What was it like? Did you get any secrets?
So I have to be completely honest. Okay, how I got into it was through internships in university, things like that. So I had different internships and then I got a job offer coming out of college. And so I went for it, moved out to LA, started my first job working in television. Now, I have to be real with you. I'm horrible at knowing who like famous people are and things like that. So doesn't faze me. I don't care who you are, that kind of thing. Like, I don't know, you're just a person, you breathe the same air, like it's cool, right? So there was a couple times where I got into some awkward moments with people and they thought they were very special, but to me, they were just another human. So I have some funny stories about that. But I think in general, you know, it's really funny. Everybody always is like, oh gosh, you worked in television. What was that like? And all I have to say, it's a hustle. You work your butt off, and you work really, really hard, and it's a great place to be creative, and it's a fun environment. But ultimately, it led me down to doing what my purpose is, which is to help people in any aspects of confidence in their love life, their relationships, breakups, you name it, dating life, and really help them find purpose in that.
Yes, yes. So that was actually going to be my next question as you were talking about that. What made you make that switch from being in like the Hollywood life, so to speak, transitioning all the way to New York, completely different coast, and starting your business?
So I did start it in West Hollywood in my little studio apartment on Havenhurst, if we have anybody in West Hollywood that's watching this. And then it manifested and grew bigger and bigger. But originally, I went through my own self-love, self-growth journey. So I found myself in toxic relationships, codependent relationships, always seeking validation, always needing worth from somebody that I was dating or whatnot. And this is why I say the most important relationship is with you, because if you want love, you want to find that, you got to start with yourself. And that's something that I just was so disconnected with. I was always seeking validation in someone else, trying to fix whatever issues they had that they weren't taking care of themselves. And it wasn't until I had my own moment, my own bottom really, of being in a really toxic relationship that I just saw two paths in front of me. It was either continue this path of self-sabotage, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting to fall in love, being in healthy relationships, which was not happening, or it was step into the relationship with myself, learn how to really love me, learn what red flags are, learn what kind of partner I want to be with, communication. I mean, I could just name, right? What I want, all of those things. And so I ended that toxic relationship. And as I always say, I begun the most important relationship I will ever have, that I will have today, I will have tomorrow, everything, okay? And that's with myself. And so going through that journey, that process, I just thought to myself, I was like, you know, other people are also struggling in this space. Other people also want to feel love, want to feel validation, and they need to help, you know, with themselves, find it within first. And so it was then that I thought, you know, I went through all of this, and there's a reason, and maybe it's also to help other people go through their journey of love, right? And their journey of relationships, heartbreak, dating, all of that kind of stuff. And so I transitioned. I cast a TV show. I got certified to be a dating and relationship coach, and I just switched careers. And since then, I've written a book. I speak all over the nation, and it's going international this year as well in Toronto. I spoke at your awesome event in Indianapolis, which was so great. It was amazing. So check it out. I believe you have another one coming. Atlanta. It was supposed to be Atlanta. I don't know what the plans are.
Yes. We have to reschedule it for next September. And we're thinking about doing a virtual one to replace this year's one, but still going to be in Atlanta next year. So all you ladies, come on out.
Yes. And so, that's really what I decided that was my purpose. So I just one of those moments of, I don't feel satisfied in the career that I have. I loved it. It was great and it was fun while it was lasting. But I just thought, wow, like here I am living this life of self-care, living this life of self-love. How do I really honor that? How do I move forward and live that in my life? And television just wasn't fulfilling me in that sense. Right. So that's why I switched over. And honestly, now I'm so grateful because I truly believe I'm living out my purpose day in and day out.
Yes. And there are so many different things that you said in that we could take so many paths right now. One, just getting over that fear to completely switch jobs, careers in your life, because a lot of people stay content because they're like, I don't really know what's ahead. Like this, I get. This is what I want, but I get this. I know how it's going to happen. I know how it's going to play out. It's safe, so to speak. So there's that aspect. But then you also talked about red flags and self-love. And right now I'm working on the First Class Life anthology series. And so all of the co-authors have submitted their final chapters. And there's one of them that talks about a relationship where she's ignoring the red flags. And then there's another one that talks about her relationship and how after that ended, she had to start loving herself. So what would you say are some of those red flags that you see a lot of people, like what are the most common red flags that people ignore? And if you're watching this, put your questions down below, comment, love it, share it, talk to us. We are here. And so, yes, what are some of those common red flags?
So I talk a lot about this in my book, Contagious Love, Break Free from Codependency for Damn Good, where there are so many red flags sometimes that you start to paint red flags green. And I always say, do not paint red flags green. So it's a red flag if you begin to justify somebody's behavior. If you start to question it, try to make it fit into some mold, salvage the relationship, even though you know your gut is telling you it's off. Those are all different types of red flags. First date red flags would be somebody being rude to the wait staff, showing up super late, only talking about themselves. Another red flag in relationships is your partner respectful towards you? Do they put you down? Do they make you feel lower about yourself? All of those different things are a combination of red flags. But ultimately, okay, I always say, trust your gut. Follow your damn gut because your gut never lies. That's my thing, all right? Because ultimately, what does your gut say? If something feels off, girl, I'm going to tell you it probably is, okay? With 100%, I'm just going to say it. Now, the question is, what are you trying to convince yourself of when you know it's off? That's the other question. Taking a step back and really asking, what's going on here? Why does this feel off? That is key when it comes to red flags because you're the one that's going to catch it. You could try to justify it to your friends and say, okay, you did this, or this is really weird. Do you think so? And your friends might be like, oh, no, I think it seems fine. And you're like, okay, suppress the gut. Keep painting these red flags green, okay? I always say, and I talk about this in my book, Contagious Love, the more you paint red flags green, the bigger and more neon the red flags get. And eventually at some point, if they truly are a red flag, you will have to end up dealing with it.
Yes. And I saw a question come in from Ms. Cher, but we're going to hold that question for our 30-second hot shot segment that's coming up in just a little bit. So hold tight, Cher, hold tight. Your question will get answered. Yes, but I love that you said that, like we try to paint the red flags green. One thing that I always like to say is that when people show you their true colors, believe them, because I use the analogy of a painting, just like you said, paint the red flags green, because when we're painting something and we keep adding paint to it, we think, oh, we'll just fix it a little bit here, fix it a little bit there. And we keep adding paint and we just do that over and over and over again. Eventually, rather than ending up with a painting, we end up with a big mess, like a whole big blob. And now we're like, oh, this is trash. Like, what I'm supposed to do with this painting now? And it's the same thing with our relationships. When people are showing you their true colors, believe them. Like, yes, I believe in second chances for one mistake, and correcting the issue, addressing it, and then moving on and growing. But if they're making the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over, like, boo-boo, it's time to throw that painting out, okay?
Exactly. And I always say actions speak louder than words, okay? So watch your actions. If they're saying, oh, I don't want a commitment right now, like, I don't want anything serious, but they're coming over all the time, they're buying you food, that's a red flag. If they're saying, oh, I really want a relationship, but maybe you feel something shady's going on the side, they're not committed, they're not following through on what they're saying, believe it. So it's both ways. Actions speak louder than words.
Yes, I love that. So I think that this would be a great time to get into this next segment where we find out
what's in your cup.
Woo, woo, woo.
I love this.
Yes. It is that time of the show where we find out what Miss Carla is sipping on. And she already showed you a little bit, but now she's going to tell us all about it and give her bottle some cup cam.
Here it is. I'm giving Trader Joe's a shout out. They're not paying me for this advertisement. Okay, so side note, but I am drinking cranberry clementine. It's soda water. I do not drink caffeine. I know I already kind of told you this, but I don't drink caffeine, and I actually don't even drink alcohol. A lot of people don't know that about me either. So I pretty much live off of soda water. It's to the point where I crave it. So I have craving. I'll tell you how I drink it. So I'm particular about my soda water. I hope you don't mind, Lindsey. I'm about to go into it.
No, we're not here.
Cool. All right. So the way I drink my soda water, I'm very particular. If I am out at a bar or at a restaurant and it comes from a soda stream, it's always the best. Anything out of bottle isn't fizzy enough. I almost want it to the point where it like so fizzy that it makes your eyes water, okay? So then you pair it with a lime, and it can't be an old lime because those just suck. So it has to be a fresh lime, the kind that is gonna make you like feel like you're just sucking on a lime, sour. So you do that, you fill the cup all the way to ice, and then you take the straw and mash it around, and there you have the best soda water drink. Now at home, all right, I get flavored, which is great. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. The cheap bottles are fine as well. If you get it in a glass bottle, though, they don't tend to be as fizzy. So that is just a side note. It's fancier, but it's not as fizzy. And I usually fill my glass up with ice. Right now, I have my fridge really cold, so I'm drinking it out of the bottle. Don't mind me.
We don't judge here on the Happy Hour Show, honey. Hashtag no judgment zone. Tell us if you are watching right now, let us know what you're sipping on. Post it in the comments, what's in your cup. And I am also sipping from a bottle today, but a glass bottle rather than a plastic bottle. And Mike's is not paying me for this promotion either.
Cheers. Can we cheers?
Yes, let's cheers. Ready? Tink.
You go this way, right? Or am I backwards? I don't know.
I went up
trying to cheers
like this. Yes. So today, I actually thought about getting water, and then I saw this, and it looked so lonely because it was the only one left in the refrigerator. It's probably been in my refrigerator for a couple months, actually. And I was like, you know what? We're going to end your misery. We're going to allow you to join your friends.
I love it. That's amazing. Yes.
Yes. So make sure you comment and tell us what's in your cup. And meanwhile, we're going to get back to chatting with the lovely Carmo. That is Carla and Romo put together in one.
I like that. Almost reminds me of Karma. Okay. I dig it. I like it. Thank you.
I think that's my new nickname for you now, Carmo.
I like that. Karma. Cool.
So if you're just tuning in, I am chatting with the beautiful Carla Romo. She is a certified relationship and dating coach. So make sure you put your comments down below. We've already been talking about red flags, what they look like, and Why do we ignore them? Okay, like why? Why?
Mhm.
Can you tell us that? Like, why do we ignore red flags, Carla?
I truly believe, and we're gonna get deep. You guys ready? You guys
Yes.
ready? I know it's a Tuesday night, but like we're about to get deep.
We're
I
ready.
truly believe, okay, the heart of it all is that we just want to feel loved. We want to feel worthy. We want to feel enough. We want things to work out because if it works out, then it gives us a sense of gratification. It gives us a sense of belonging, right?
Mhm.
And so we try to convince ourselves that it's right. It's the right relationship. Yes, it's going to work out. When really we need to convince ourselves that we are worth being with somebody who doesn't have red flags. We are worth trying to go on dates, even if we fail, right? We're worth being in relationships and saying it's okay to walk away. That is what it comes down to, is your own self-worth, your own love. So when you start to justify, it's because you're trying to make something happen that isn't there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I love that. I love that. And what are some indicators to maybe like if somebody out there is watching and listening and they're like, maybe I'm ignoring red flags, but they're still not quite a minute. They're kind of on the fence, like, I think, but I'm still kind of here. I think, but I'm still kind of here. So, like, what are some things that you would say help us to begin to identify where we need to increase our self-love?
Yes, I like that. So getting quiet, it sounds really basic, but going for a walk, not with headphones, not with the podcast, the audiobook, whatever, but going for a walk and just taking some time to think to yourself, what am I feeling? What's going on? What am I trying to justify right now? That's honoring yourself, taking a moment just to take a step out, right? And when you talk about self-love, I think self-love has become this designer brand, right? Oh, hashtag self-love, self-love. When I think of self-love, I truly think of something simple. Going for a walk to really get quiet, allowing yourself time to think, not convincing yourself of painting red flags green, but really taking a step back and saying, you know what? I'm worthy enough to say, I don't want to be treated this way. Or I recognize that this isn't healthy behavior and I want something healthy. So cutting things off, that is a way to practice it. Another is not hiding it from your family or friends. A lot of times when you're in toxic relationships and somebody's got red flags and you're trying to paint them green, you might keep information from family and loved ones, all right? It's like, why all of a sudden you found out that this relationship was so toxic for your friend and you're like, I had no idea this was going on. Like, what was happening? Right? But you're like, okay, hold on. Like, there was a lot of signs. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
So it's even that, talking to your friends, talking to your family about it, not being in denial of it is a way to honor and love yourself. Because when you share it with friends, when you share it with family, you're creating a support system around yourself. And when you're going into toxic relationships, or if you're in a toxic relationship, your friends might be like, we can't stand the dude. We don't want to hear from him again. We don't even want to hear about him. We're done, right? Or maybe that he's created a separation, some kind of drama between the two of you, right? So this is where you need to lean in. Where's your support? Where can you honor yourself by having people that you can lean on as well?
Yes, yes. And just thinking about that support, because I know like some of us are very fortunate that we do have that support. But what would you say to that person that feels like she is alone, like, or he is alone, that doesn't have like friends or family that they can turn to kind of help lift them up out of that toxicity?
So there's a couple different things, and I talk about this as well in my book, right? Where you could do things like journaling, write out your thoughts, pray, find spirituality or religion. Another thing as well is there's 12-step groups. So if you find yourself that you're codependent, there's different 12-step groups for that. You could also talk to a therapist or a coach, who specializes in relationships, in dating, in codependency, right? All of those different types of things. So having some kind of outlet is key and it is important. So even if you're like, oh gosh, these all sound intimidating, look at them. You don't have to commit today. You don't have to reach out to a coach today. You can just think about it. Keep it on your radar. Follow somebody that you admire. See, okay, what are they saying? There's quotes. Great. This is helping me get through like tough times. All of these different avenues. There's no right or wrong. It's just a way to gain support for yourself during hard times.
Yes, yes. And if you're not ready to go to counseling or to a coach or anything like that, just take a step. Like that step can be signing up for an email list because
Yep.
then there's no contact, but you're still getting the information to help begin to build you up. So I definitely love that you said that. Make sure that you have your support system. And if you're just tuning in, post your questions below. I know that we have some waiting and I can't wait to get to them. Make sure you comment, love, share this out because you never know who needs to hear this information. So, Carla, what would you say is like those moments or that one moment whenever you realize for yourself, like, oh my gosh, I'm in this toxic situation and I got to get out of it? Because you mentioned like that used to be your past and you were like, I need to self-love.
So I call it like my aha moment. It was actually very spiritual for me. Before this moment, I wasn't that spiritual of a person. And I look at spirituality as my own understanding of a higher power, God, okay? So I always tell people spirituality doesn't always have to be religion. If religion works for you, great, awesome. If it doesn't, you can also decide that there's something else greater than yourself out there, and that's enough, right? So I love that you asked this because I don't talk about this always. And if I do, I kind of give it a quick, brief overview and then I'm done. So I took this trip to Ireland and it was a solo trip. And I was in the Wicklow Forest and I had actually missed the tour bus that I was supposed to take for this trip to the Wicklow Forest. This was to take us around to different stops. It was going to be with people and I missed it. And so in that moment, I thought, well, I'm just still going to go travel to this place. I want to see it. So I took the local bus, windy roads, got there. And as I'm walking around the Wicklow Forest, which is absolutely amazing, it's just green, it's lush. I mean, it's Ireland to its finest. And it's just beautiful, so peaceful. And I'm walking along a path. And I just had this moment to myself, just it like a feeling, like almost like a voice just like overcame me. And was like, you're going to be okay. No matter what, you're going to be okay. And it was in that moment that I felt like I had permission, that it was okay for me to step into the relationship with myself, which meant letting go of this other relationship. And that was hard. It's not that it was like easy and I was like, woo, okay, fine, bye. No. But once I made that decision, once I realized I wasn't alone, that I had something greater than myself helping guide me and lead me through this process, I had the strength to be able to say, you know what? Okay, I got this. I can end this. I can do this for me. And so that was my moment of strength, of just saying, yeah, okay, there's no more denial. There's no more second guessing yourself. It's time to put yourself first. And I go on a lot about this in my book, Contagious Love, because it was such a pivotal moment for me. This was like the defining moment of my self-love, self-growth journey, where I really stepped into myself and I chose me.
Yes, yes. I love that. Are you listening, y'all? Are y'all listening? Okay. Carla's been giving us all kinds of gems tonight. You have to love yourself. And I know earlier you mentioned that some ways that you can begin to do that is just to take a walk without the distractions of music and your iPod and a podcast and all that stuff. What are some other ways that those that maybe experience something like you did can really tap into like, all right, it is truly time to love myself?
So I think, you don't have to always just break up right away to start the journey of self-love, right? That was kind of my experience of I really needed to let go of this relationship to begin the relationship with myself. But there's other things you can do, like affirmations, writing sticky notes around the house that I am enough, I am worthy. And even if you don't believe it, that's okay. You can just keep saying it, keep telling yourself this. If you're like, I don't even know what I put after I am, I don't even know what I am, right? Then I suggest looking at another woman or looking at another man, something that you really admire in them, okay? Mm-hmm. And that you think is just fantastic. And put that as your I am. I am outgoing. I am charismatic. I am unstoppable. All of these I ams, right? And follow that up every day when you see it on the sticky note. Just that I am. That's right. Another thing that's really helpful, and this one I've actually been told, and I talk about this in my book as well, that it can feel very emotional is to stand in the mirror and look at yourself and just say, I love you.
Yeah.
Right there, giving yourself so much love. It takes courage to really be able to utter the words, I love you, when you're in a place of trying to get there, trying to love yourself. And then just allowing it to be in that moment. Another thing that's really great is journaling. It's funny because I kept a journal like my whole childhood and high school, and I still journal to this day, so I don't know what I'm trying to say when I stopped. All right, I still journal. And in my journal in I don't know, it was like 7th or 8th grade, I wrote in there, maybe I'm going through all of this, and it was boy drama, okay, because that was just my thing. All right, I needed love, I needed validation, even since at a very young age. But what I put in there was, maybe I'm going through all this because I'll make it into a book one day, and then I'll be able to help people. And so it's honoring yourself in some way. Maybe you had some kind of goal that you wanted for yourself, and maybe it's to switch careers. You've been wanting to do this business, or you've been wanting to switch jobs or careers, but you're just nervous to do it. That is an act of self-love, is truly walking into something that you know you want to do and you haven't been doing. That within itself is an act of self-love. So those are all just different things that you can incorporate. Some are bigger, some are littler, but you don't have to do it perfectly. You can just try one thing. If it works, cool. Try something else if it doesn't work.
Exactly. In other words, don't give up.
Don't give up.
You find something that works for you. And affirmations, I, of course, am a big believer of affirmations. That's why I created lifestyle affirmation cards. Yes, yes, yes. So those are just amazing. Just telling yourself, like, I am confident, I am outgoing, just like you said. And just to take that a step further, like if you're struggling with self-worth, specifically in relationships, just standing in the mirror, like Carla said, and telling yourself, I am worthy to be loved in a healthy way. Because sometimes we think it's love, and it's really not, but it's because of what we've grown up to learn what love is. Like some people think, oh, if he hits me, that means he loves me. Oh, if he's calling me names, that means he loves me. He or she is interchangeable, but I'm naturally going to say she and he. Okay, guys? So like just learning, like, what is that healthy model of love, and being able to embrace that and know that you are worth it. So Stephanie says, great reframing of a job change or starting your business as an act of self-love. Yes, that is, thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Yes, just doing that is an act of self-love, because she had to make that choice to do what felt good for her. And so kudos to you, Carla, and kudos to everybody else that has done that step. And if you haven't done that step, make sure you reach out to Carla. Here is her info again, so that she can help you take that step and release that toxicity from your life, okay? Now, I think that this is a great time for our next segment.
30-second hot shot. Answer the question in 30 seconds or less, or take your shot.
Yes!
I'm obsessed with these. These are amazing. Yes.
And you don't have to take a real shot. It's more like a pretend shot, So you got to keep on theme, right? Happy hour theme, happy hour. Of water. So I love it. And I'm so excited because we've got some questions in the comments. I also have these questions here that were submitted. So if you've never watched the show before, so glad you can join us. Make sure you stay updated on future episodes by signing up at bit.ly/happy updates. You see it right there scrolling across your screen. So that way you can stay updated on future episodes. And sometimes my guests give exclusive happy hour specials, but only to subscribers. So make sure that you subscribe right now. Okay. So 30-second hot shot. How's it work? I have questions. You put your questions down in the comments as well. And Carla has 30 seconds to answer your question, or she's got to take her pretend shot. Okay?
All right. Here
Are
I go.
you ready? Are you ready? First, I got to get my timer here. Let's see. Timer. Oh, not 5 minutes, not 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay, so I've got the timer ready for 30 seconds. I'm going to read the question and then I'm going to hit go and it's all yours, okay? So the first question is, what is a Love-Life Cheerleader?
Ooh, Love-Life Cheerleader is the girl that's going to be in your corner cheering you on at any stage of your love life and life in general, really. So anything you're going through, I'm out there, I'm rooting for you, I'm helping you with strategy, navigating that space, being your unbiased friend in the corner. That's it, 30 seconds.
Yep, and you had 11 seconds to spare, so woo, 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 woo. Coming through, yes. And then this next question, I'm going to skip it because you've already answered that and you did a great job with the tips that you offered because it was, how do you practice self-care? But I will say, is there anything else that you want to add in 30 seconds? Okay,
so self-care. Gosh, I talked a lot about this already. I'll add in this. Self-care is not selfish. There's a misconception that it is, but when you put yourself first, then you're able to take care of others in your life. But if you're not taking care of yourself, then you can't show up fully to relationships, work, career, family, blah, 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 you name it.
Yes. 7 seconds. Girl, you getting it. So, okay, now let's go to this question. Start the timer. Next one comes from Cher, a viewer, and she says, so when is it healthy to start dating after a divorce?
All right. I like this question. So I don't like to put time limits on anything, but I think what's really important is what are your motives around dating? Have you kind of taken a step back, reflected on the divorce, the relationship, learned things that you want to change about yourself? Have you gotten maybe some help around it? Coaching, therapy, friends, support groups, whatever. Really taking time for yourself and taking a moment to really learn how you want to move forward and be the best self possible.
Yes. 2 seconds.
Oh, yes. Okay. My goal is not to hit any of, I'm competitive. Okay. That is something about me and I don't lose. Okay. So this is like game on. And watch the
Listen, when you come and you're back over in my neck of the woods and it's ladies' night and we play games, we're going to have to be on the same team.
Yes.
Yeah, I do think that this is kind of an important question. So I know you just killed that answer, but is there anything else that you kind of wanted to elaborate on in regards to this question?
Yeah, and I think ultimately when you're talking about divorce, right, like that is a major life change, okay? Mm-hmm. So you're not just talking about like a little breakup here or there. Like this is a major life change. So you got to think about in all aspects how you want to move forward. What are ways that you want to grow from it? Not being afraid to put yourself first in different ways, whether it's even with family, right? Maybe you have children with this. Like all of those different things. So really just taking a step back and looking at your entire life, not just relationships, not just dating forward, but how are you taking care of yourself financially? How are you taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually? All of those things I think are so important anytime you have a life change, divorce or not, to really just reflect on before you decide to jump back out there and date.
Yes, I love that. And so there is a follow-up to this question, all right? So she was holding on till it was time for 30-second hot shot. So super kudos to you, Miss Cher. And so she says, what are your thoughts on online dating?
Online dating is just one avenue, okay, of the whole pie to dating. So do not put all your eggs in a basket saying, oh, I'm online dating or I'm on dating apps. They suck. I'm single forever. That's it, right? It's just one slice of the pie to meet that person. It's just one tool in your toolbox. Do not put all the emphasis on it. Find other ways that your interests, your hobbies, those types of things to be able to find the right person.
Yes.
Did I do it?
Listen, you got to pass because I was so engulfed in everything that I forgot to start the timer that time.
I know that I went over. We can go back on the replay and just count out the seconds. You'll see me tomorrow, like midnight, like counting out the seconds because I'm competitive.
Yes, and put in the comments, did you make it or did you not?
Exactly.
Love it, love it. And she says, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. Smashed it. Yes, I told y'all Carla was amazing. Did I not? Did I not? Look, and she said, me too. I wanted her to keep going. Well, she has the floor. So if she needs to elaborate, she may do that or forever hold your peace.
Oh, thank you. I will elaborate a little bit more. So I think a lot of people get this idea that it's a numbers game. Dating's a numbers game. Get on many apps as you can. That leads to dating burnout. So you get exhausted, fatigued. Anyone out there watching who's been on dating apps probably at some point has wanted to delete the app or deleted it. Then was like, I'm never going on them again. Apps aren't for me. And then you get back on the app, right? That is the cycle of dating burnout. So really give yourself time, give yourself some just time, some space while being on these apps. Recognize they're not just instant gratification, quick fix, quick fix. If you're using them for quick fix, instant gratification on dates, all that stuff, right? Give yourself a moment just to chill out a little bit. Find other outlets, find other ways, get creative to meet people, and don't put all your eggs in one basket with the dating apps.
Yes, yes. That means diversify, just like you do with your stocks and investments, okay?
Thank you. Yes.
In life. And listen, for those of you that don't know, let me tell you, don't knock dating apps until you try it, okay? Let me clarify. I have never been on a dating app. Why? Because I was already locked up before they got all popular. However, for those of you, and I'm about to date myself, and that's totally fine, 80s baby in the house. For those of you that may or may not remember, way before Facebook, there was something called MySpace and Black Planet, okay? And so I met my husband at blackplanet.com, all right? Hashtag no judgment zone.
I love that. That is amazing. Yes.
Yes, yes. I used to be ashamed of that, though. Like when people would ask where we met, especially because we didn't live in the same place, I would be like, oh, we met in the mall when I was out of town. Like, and that was my story for the longest because I didn't want anybody to know that we actually met on blackplanet.com.
That is amazing. I love it. I love it. Hey, you know what? No judgment where you meet your person, because if you're meant to be together, my whole thing is you will be together. That's
yes.
all.
Yes. And eventually I got over that, right? And then I start, yeah, girl, we met on Black Planet.
That is amazing.
Yes. And crazy thing is, so I was in an abusive relationship whenever I was actually a teenager, and it was something that person did that put me on Black Planet. And so that was just crazy how ironic for things to work out. Like, you know, you were doing your dirt, which caused my reaction. And then next thing you know, I meet my husband on Black Planet.
There we go. I love it. Exactly. You never know where anything will lead you.
Right, right. So what other advice, just in general, I know we've been talking about relationships, we've been talking about red flags, we've been talking about self-love. Are there any other areas that can just round out this whole conversation? Because we are helping the people get their relational life together on tonight, okay?
I hear you. And I hope I'm helping you guys get your relationship on tonight, all right? So I would say something that I think is super important and is overlooked so often is being present. Because what matters right now, what matters today, and I've talked to 2 clients about this today, it keeps coming up, so I'm going to share it with you guys. What matters right now in this moment is what predicts and dictates your future. So I'm going to say that again. What happens right now dictates your future. Yes. So if you are future tripping, you are worried about what's going to happen in the future. So you start acting on it or reacting to the what ifs this happens kind of thing. Okay. When you get into that mindset, you're actually screwing yourself over for the future. In order to get results, all you can do is show up for yourself. You can only control your side of things. But in order to truly get into a direction that you want to be going, you got to show up for right now. You have to show up for today. So all of this, right? All of this in this moment where your 2 feet are chilling with your drink, okay? All of that matters for what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yes, yes. And that's right in line with the things that I tell everyone, like intention matters. And it's like you just said it in different words. And so I love that you did that because everybody don't listen to me. And the way I deliver things, it doesn't connect with everyone. So now you just came and you gave a different perspective on that same principle. So now other people can get their food and feed their soul. Intention matters. So the things that you are thinking right now, you are influencing your reality because your thoughts are influencing your behavior, which is influencing your environment and what you attract back to you. So it's important that you self-love.
Yes, I like that. I like the way you said that. I was like relaxing. I'm like, am I listening to like a bedtime story? It's like,
Right?
yeah. I'm like, okay.
Like R&B nightcap on the radio back in the day. Like, you are now tuned in to WXN Radio.
I know you have a new calling in life. It's done, Lindsey.
We're giving you the tunes to help you self-love.
I'll just be your side dancer, like the motion person in the background.
Yes, yes. Everybody needs the hype woman, right? Look, Sharon said, I'm my fingers right now.
Yes.
We love it. We love it. So I have to ask you this question because I am all about happiness and being intentional about creating happiness in your life and walking in your purpose. And so I have to ask every guest that comes on the Happy Hour show, how do you create happiness in your life?
Taking it one day at a time, that's it. If I can enjoy the things in this moment, then I'm living. That's all. Simple, short, sweet, not complicated, but sometimes I can make it complicated. I'm not perfect. But when I'm enjoying right now and I am present and I'm not worried about yesterday and I'm not worried about tomorrow, I'm happy.
Nice. And hopefully you are happy too because you are enjoying this present moment with myself and the beautiful Carla Romo.
I like the way you always introduce me to beautiful Carla Romo. I'm like, you should just come around with me.
I'll do it, but it'll cost you, girl. It'll cost you. Give you my rate. Give you my rate. So awesome, awesome. I know that you have a freebie for all the viewers on today. So tell us about it.
Yes. So I have a free download of my chapter 1 of my book, Contagious Love, Break Free from Codependency for Damn Good. And I also have a 3-day dating challenge, which you can check out. It's completely free, no obligation. All right. So both of those you can check out on my website right here. 3-day dating challenge right there. Check it out. I walk you through each challenge day by day. You can reach out to me. We can chat about it. And yeah, let me know what you think. I want you to go out there and meet people. Let's go. Let's do this. COVID and love is happening. It's real. All right. It's real.
And then come back and let us know in the comments that you found love.
Yes.
When you think back over your love life and you're giving your wedding speech and say, you know, when I tuned into the Happy Hour show with Lindsey Vertner when she had that Carla Romo on her show, this is what stood out to me and led me to my spouse.
And then you'll toast to soda water, sparkling water.
Yeah. Yes. If you're being good, you're going to toast to soda water. If you're being a little wild, you're going to toast to something else. Either way, we're going to toast together. So thank you again for coming on the show. Let me show you her info so that you can follow her. Reach out to her. There's her Instagram, her website, and they find that chapter on your website, right? I am probably
find the chapter on my website. Yep, you can go there, and you can also, if you put your email in, you'll get a discount code and free shipping.
Discount code and free shipping.
All the free stuff, right? And I'll sign it. I'll sign it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you again for coming on the Happy Hour show. And thank you to the viewers for tuning in. And it's okay if you're just waking up from your nap, because you can go back and watch the replay of this lovely episode with lovely Carla Romo, certified certified dating and relationship coach. Look, I promise y'all, I am not drunk. See, look, this is too late. I've only drank this much. This is just my natural high, okay?
No caffeine needed.
Certified dating and relationship coach, Carla Romo. And listen, if you want to stay tuned in for future episodes, special airings, and special happy hour specials, you got to make sure you subscribe. So go to bit.ly/happy updates. And on that note, I bless you guys with a wonderful, wonderful, amazing week ahead of you. And I will see you next Tuesday on the Happy Hour show with Lindsey Vertner. Bye.